get various contractors and everybody else involved, so thank you very much. And last but not least, I've got Bill Smith coming up thanking a bunch of people, but then I figured Bill Smith isn't going to thank himself, so I get the honor of doing that. Bill was instrumental in a lot of the design concepts, getting the groups to work together and just doing basically everything nonstop for the development of this farm. So if we could give Bill a big round of applause. Now I'd like to ask Bob Ostrowski to come up, please.
Thank you, Scott. On behalf of the Friends of Holcomb Farm, I'd like to thank all of you for coming and welcome you all here to the farm. As Scott mentioned, this is a terrific project that really is a collaboration between the town of Granby and our Friends organization. The mission of the Friends of Holcomb Farm, which most of you understand who are in this room, is to preserve, promote, and utilize a historic New England farm. And that's something that I think is illustrated by this project as we move forward and continue our mission of our nonprofit organization. Many of you here have been longtime supporters of the Friends organization, longtime supporters of the farm. So for the benefit of those who are not, for the benefit of those who haven't been involved lately, I do want to list for you the activities that are going on for the farm, at the farm, with many of our community organizations, including the town of Granby, because there is quite a lot going on here, as I learn every day. First of all, we have the Granby Land Trust is headquartered here. There are art classes which are going on at the farm, done by Laura Eden, done by other artists. There's youth services programs which are offered at the farm. There are stay-and-play groups that are held here at the farm. The Institute for Sustainable Nutrition is here at Holcomb Farm. Two Coyotes Wilderness School is here at Holcomb Farm. There are yoga classes here at Holcomb Farm. Tara's Memory Cafe. There are town committee meetings, as there will be tonight. The Granby Horse Council is here at Holcomb Farm. The Granby 4-H is here at Holcomb Farm. Durable Medical Equipment Lending Library, a very popular program, is here at Holcomb Farm. Pedals for Progress, a collection site for bicycles donated to persons, is here at Holcomb Farm. Friends of the Library do their annual used book sale here at Holcomb Farm. The Granby Artist Association hosts events here at Holcomb Farm. They do art here at Holcomb Farm. They teach classes here at Holcomb Farm as well. There are summer camps. There's the American Red Cross offers classes for youth here at Holcomb Farm. There are many, many, many events here at Holcomb Farm, and that's just a small example of some of the things going on here. Our organization also offers programs here at the farm, including our farming program, and that's a program that's run by our farm manager, Joe O'Grady. And I just want to say a few words about Joe. He recently had a daughter, Juniper Rose, and Juniper Rose was actually born here at the farm in January. So again, that's something that we all think we have a connection to Holcomb Farm. But Joe and Juniper and her mom, Emma, they truly have a connection to this place and love it very much. We also have a Fresh Access program, which is a program where our organization provides fresh, healthy, and chemical-free produce to persons who need it, which is pretty much most everybody, as we all know. And we partner with various community organizations to provide that food. Our partners include the Granby Senior Center. It includes the Waste Not, Want Not Community Kitchen, which is based on the South Church. It includes other groups and individuals within the town of Granby. And it also includes Gifts of Love through Food Share, and also the Hispanic Health Council. And that program, in the course of a year, I'll use last year as an example, provided over 12,000 pounds of produce to those various community groups. And again, that's something that we're very proud of, and something that this organization and this place is helping to give back to the community. We host events here as well, and for those of you who are interested in attending events at Holcomb Farm, this coming Saturday is Trails Day, and Holcomb Farm will be the site of several hikes. They'll be at 10 in the morning and noon. Parking is at the CSA barn. We have other activities going on here at the farm. It's a very popular location these days for activities. And but please try to attend if you can those hikes. Those will be offered at 10 and noon, and that's done in collaboration with the Land Trust. So we'll be hiking the Western Hills Trails and the Granby Land Trust property, which is adjacent to those trails. So that's, again, a collaboration with one of our community partners that I think is very important. We have a progressive dinner June 20th, and that's an event that will be starting here at this beautiful building. And then you'll go on to dinner at a host's home, and then regather for dessert later. We also host a harvest dinner in the fall, and that's something that many of you have attended, and it's an event that's supported by and headed by Chris Prosperi, who's the chef at Metro Beast, who's a strong supporter of the farm and the Fresh Access program. The partnership and collaboration that First Selectman Cumley referenced is really what brings us here tonight, to dedicate this building to recognize all of those who have done so much to make it happen. And that partnership is really what allowed us to work together, and all the persons listed who you heard Scott talk about, with the vision, the planning, the construction, and as importantly, the financing of this beautiful structure. And what we learned by working together is that we can realize the mission of the Friends of Holcomb Farm, and we can also realize and move forward the legacy of Laura and Tudor Holcomb, and I think we're all doing that tonight. There are two persons here, in addition to the persons that Scott recognized, that I do want to make sure to recognize. And these are persons that were instrumental in having this project happen, because they were the co-chairs of our capital campaign here at Holcomb Farm. And those two persons are Al Wilkie and Dave Shutt. Under Al and Dave's leadership, there were a number of projects accomplished here at the farm, and this is really the capstone to all of those projects. And working together with the town, who went out and obtained the STEEP grant, which was a significant contributor to this project, and others at the farm. The contributions from the capital campaign and those donors, which were significant, were made possible by the work that was chaired by Al and Dave. And so again, I just want to recognize them. Thank you so much. They're both here tonight. Thank you. We will be hosting an event here later this summer to recognize the donors in the capital campaign, and also all of those who have supported Holcomb Farm over the years and made projects such as this and the other projects possible. And those projects really are not simply for the benefit of those in this room or those who have been here in the past, but these are projects that I think going forward will benefit the entire community. And so I thank all of you for coming, and I thank you for being here to support Holcomb Farm.
Thank you, Bob and Scott. Really appreciate it. I gotta put my glasses on because I can't see too foggy. Anyway, I did, before tonight, I did want to mention, before I congratulate a few people on the help that we've had here, is that there is work in progress, as you well know. We've had a wicked winter trying to get this thing off the ground and get it accomplished the way we want it, and there's a lot of items on the punch list, which you might know. So bear with us, it'll all get done soon. And I did call Al Roker this morning to see if he can fix the weather. He couldn't do it. He said, call Brad Field. I called Brad. He didn't return my call. So anyways, this is what we have to deal with around this area. So that I just wanted to mention that we can't control everything. Certainly, I look forward to working with getting this project off the ground and finished, and hopefully there'll be a lot of successes here. But I do want to give thanks to several individuals who worked with me on the project tremendously, starting with Fran Amitano, who worked with the grant assistance, and certainly thank everyone here who worked with it, especially the Board of Selectmen. I have Pat Chesky, my secretary. I don't want to forget Sue Christian, who also worked hard on this. Our town engineer, Kevin Clark. I don't know if Kevin is here or not. And then Kirk Severance, Director of Public Works. Let's see. I have Tom Taberski, Park and Rec Director. And of course, along with the staff members of Public Works and others who assisted greatly in this project. So I just wanted to point that out and certainly thank everyone for coming and look forward to many happy, successful events. Thank you.
Bill, if this town manager gig doesn't work out, you could go into comedy. That's pretty good with Al Roker and Brad Field. I'm liking it. All right. So, we have some student liaisons we'd like to recognize, but before I do that, I do want to recognize Bob Ostrowski. Without Bob's leadership, I don't think this would have moved forward. So I would like to give Bob a big round of applause. This year on the Board of Selectmen, we were very fortunate to have two student liaisons. We have Mark McDermott, who is a junior. If we could recognize Mark with it. And Mark has agreed, we didn't have to twist his arm too much, but Mark has agreed to be our student liaison for next year as well, which is a great addition to our Board of Selectmen. Mark plays football. He has well over a 3.0 average, and he's also a member of the field and track. So if we could give Mark another round of applause. And we did want to wish our second student liaison, Paige Olden. Is Paige here? Okay, so we won't do the presentation. We did have a little gift for Paige. Paige is attending the University of Connecticut, where she will undoubtedly make her mark. There is something that I want to paraphrase that was given to us from the high school about Paige. It just says, Paige Olden is an amazing young woman. She is a powerhouse when it comes to academics, a fierce athlete in sports, and a community-minded individual who consistently tries to make her school and community a better place. So aren't we fortunate to have a student liaison such as Paige? So thank you again to Paige. And there was something else, I can't remember. Let's see. Today's kind of a bittersweet meeting for our Board of Selectmen. We are happy for the wonderful project that we are fortunate to work on. As it nears completion, it will be a gem for the entire town. But it's also a day where we wish a member of our close-knit board a great big thank you and a heart-filled wish of good luck in his future endeavors. So could we please have Selectman Ron Desrosiers and his lovely wife Joanne come up here, please. Just to let you know, I did go up to Ron earlier today, and I'm like, now when's your last meeting? Is it next week or the week after? But Ron, we wouldn't let today go by without letting you know what you meant to this board and the entire town. You have accomplished so much on behalf spelled behalf of the residents of our town, I'd like to remind folks some of what they are now. It all began in July of 1986 when Ron moved to Granby with his wife Joanne and his two sons, Chris and Jamie. Ron's public service began shortly thereafter. Ron has served on numerous boards and commissions. The Board of Education from June 1989 to November of 1989. Parks and Recreation from 1991 to 1993. He was the chairman of the Democratic Town Committee in 1993. On the Inland Wetlands and Watercourse in 1990. CPAC from 1994 to 2011. The Bradley Airport Noise Exposure in 2002. The Land Use Study Advisory Committee in 2002. That was a pretty busy year for you. And he has been on the Board of Selectmen from November 2nd, 1993 to June 1st, 2015. 22 years, in case folks are wondering. On the Community Service Awards from 1997 to 2015. And about the Community Service Awards, here's a paragraph I'd like to read from Rita Isaac. Initiated in 1997 by Selectman Ron Desrosiers, this award presents an opportunity for deserving residents to be publicly recognized. Each spring, a committee comprised of Desrosiers, a representative from the drummer, and one from Granby Community Television call for nominations from the general public. They select the winners based on meeting the established criteria regarding number of hours of service and degree of impact on the community. Ron was instrumental in starting the Community Service Award, so if we could give him a round of applause for that. Personally, I value your friendship, Ron, and your sage advice and words of wisdom, and will miss you on the board. On behalf of the Board of Selectmen and the town of Granby, I want to present you with this plaque that reads, Ron Desrosiers, in recognition of your 22 years of dedicated service to the Board of Selectmen and town of Granby, sincerely, Board of Selectmen. And everybody's listed there. So Ron, thank you very much for your service. And also, we all know that behind every man is a great woman, so we have a gift for you as well, Joanne. As well. So why don't we have our guest of honor come up and say a few words, if he could.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Bill. And thank you, everybody that's here this evening. I actually wish my mom and dad were here. My dad would have had a good chuckle, and my mom would actually believe it. You know, I was just thinking back that Bill and I spent a lot of time in town. I get a plaque, and Bill leaves, he gets a pension. The fact is I've really enjoyed serving as the selectman for 22 years. But time has come to move in a new direction and make some changes that my wife and I have been talking about for a while. I do want to thank the people of Granby for giving me this opportunity for these many years. It has been my privilege to represent you and all the people of Granby with the various, and also work with the various members of the Board of Selectmen and other elected town officials. I also want to thank Bill Smith and the town employees, many of whom I worked closely with over these years. I want to thank them for their professionalism, their dedication, and their hard work. I also want to thank my wife, Joanne, my two sons, Jamie and Chris, who always supported me, who were always patient with the amount of time I spent on town affairs, and always freely passed along the concerns, thoughts, and suggestions of the people in the community. Government has been a passion of mine. When I first ran and was elected president of my high school class, a very wise man took me aside and said, "You always must treat people fairly, with respect, and listen, for everyone has their own story to tell. And never, never forget that you have been elected to serve them." While holding office in college, serving my community when I lived in West Hartford, and being a selectman for 22 years, these words were never far from my mind. Now I bid the Board of Selectmen and the people of Granby a fond goodbye.
Okay, well that pretty much wraps up our gala this evening. We do have a Board of Selectmen meeting that we would like to get to, I guess, but also we're having our ribbon cutting, so that's what that means, right? Or cut it out, I don't know. So we'll have our ribbon cutting first, and then we'll go over to the workshop. But I invite everybody to stay. There's a lot of refreshments. I unfortunately won't be able to eat all of those, but please help yourself, and we'll have our big ceremony and then bid everybody adieu. So one more time, if we could have a round of applause for Ron.